Hello everyone. So now we will start with the non-hybrid scenario under order fulfillment. So prior to this we did a hybrid scenario. The difference between the hybrid and the non-hybrid which we'll be doing right now is that in hybrid we saw the customers being classified under different categories like drugs, club, VDC orders and so on. And in non-hybrid, there are no categories as such. All the customers are in one group or, just under a non-hybrid category. That's it. They're not classified into different categories as drugs, club, VDC, and so on. All right. So let me start from our DV2 system. And I will be creating the sales orders from DV2. So just let me log in. And all right. So let me go into VS01. That's our transaction for creating sales order. So again, I'll be just creating sales orders with reference so that I don't have to enter each and every information manually. So just let me directly punch in the order number. So this is our first order. And I click on copy. So you can see already most of the information have been entered. That is the sold to party and the ship to party is same, and that would be Cygnus, which is one of our non-hybrid customers. Let me enter a random PO number and let me change the delivery date of about 1 week from today. Right. And here you can see the material information is already entered and also the amount of quantity, so we will just let remain the quantity as it is. And we have got the plan to which the sales orders to be delivered, that is the plan from which the loading will take place, that is nothing but our plant US88, that is the source of our product. And let's go ahead and click on enter. So we have to always make sure that the default date is copied into existing schedule lines. Let me go into that. So here we'll get the same date which we gave earlier, that is nothing but 17th of July. I'll click on press on enter and then I'll try to save it. So once I save it, you can see the order number being assigned to me. So this will be one of our orders with which we'll try to plan in TM. Let me create another order again with reference, and let me punch in the order number for this too, and copy. So again, you will be seeing most of the information being already entered. So here, if you can see, it is a different customer. So the last sales order which you created was for customer Cygnus, and this is customer Kmart. So again, we'll just enter. We will try to make sure the delivery dates are same for both the orders, just for testing our scenario. And here you can already see the material 139107, that is the same material. I just reduce the quantity to 800, and again the source would be same, that is US88. It was the same plant for the previous order too. So the source are same, but the destination customers are different. Alright, so let me just press on enter. Again, the default date, we have to make sure that it is being copied into the existing schedule line. So I'll exactly do that. So I just go to schedule line and just assign the date, press on enter, and now I'm good to save my order. I do that. That's fine. It's a kind of warning message, but we'll just go ahead. So our sales order has been given a document number. So now let's go ahead into TM and let's see how this works out. Alright, so in TM I directly go to my NWVC menu screen, That is our NetViewer business client. And now let me go to the cockpit. And in the cockpit, as I said, this is our profile layout page, and we have already created a profile for non-hybrid. As you can see, it is a non-hybrid orders, planning profile for non-hybrid, again a selection profile for non-hybrid orders, and also along with the capacity selection setting, which will be common for all the order fulfillment scenarios, and standard layout. So I just highlighted that, click on continue. So now we will go inside the cockpit. Now you can see the two sales orders which we created earlier and the corresponding freight units 507 and 506 which was created. And here you can even have a look at the information, that is the loading information for both are the same, and unloading is different customers. So in hybrids, as I mentioned earlier, we don't do any multi-stop. I mean, there it is only from one customer, one source location to one destination location or customer location. But in non-hybrid, we can do multi-stop scenarios. So that's why I created one source location and two destination location. So we could see how Optimizer plans multi-stops. So what I will go ahead and do is, let me select these two freight units. Let me click on Optimizer planning and do selected entries with all resources, right? And now you will see that it is being planned. So again, I mentioned all resources, so it will consider all the vehicle resources which I have maintained. So here the vehicle resources will be the same which was maintained for the hybrid scenario. So you can see it says 2 of 2 freight units can be delivered, and we can see that in the bottom. So here you can see our freight units were planned. Earlier it showed un two unplanned freight orders, the reason being that because we had actually a lot of quantities, so that was consuming two full trucks, I mean approximately. So I just reduced the quantities and then planned again. So here you can see it is trying to do a multi-stop. Let me just click on that so that we get an overview on the stages. So here you can see this red symbol, because that is probably because some of the blocks are getting in from ECC side, and these blocks are probably when the fill rate is not being met. So we have the corresponding blocks flowing in from ECC into TM, so that will kind of create an execution block or something along those lines. So that would prevent the document status from going in execution. But still we can just plan around, that shouldn't be much of an issue. So let's see for right here. So you can see the shipping point US88 is the source for both the customer orders, and then it goes initially to the Kmart customer CU48414800305. There it unloads its first order, and then it goes to Cygnus to unload the following order. So that's how this works, and you can see the utilization percentage also decreasing gradually. So initially it was 38%, and then it unloaded about 29% of its load in Kmart customer, and remaining 9% was unloaded in for the Cygnus customer. So the planning looks good, everything looks fine. So what we would do is just go ahead and accept it, and we would try to save it. So the data has been saved successfully, and what we will try to do next is to probably go in the freight order And here you can see all the relevant information, that is the document type, the total distance traversed, the total duration, that is about 39 hours, and the first activity, which basically states when the activity first started, this loading activity, and there is the last unloading activity, and so on. And you can see the other relevant information again, the source location, destination location information. So here you can just see the start source location and the final destination location. And in the stages tab, you can probably see the two different stages. I'm in the intermediary stop too. So that is schematic or intermediary stop, and so on. So here you can see again, since this is one of our sales order and for order fulfillment, we always tended to transplace. So as soon as we save the freight order, an RFQ was generated to transplace, and transplace would again send us a confirmation accepting this RFQ, and that would be awarded automatically, as you saw in the earlier hybrid scenario. And as soon as it gets awarded, transplace will come here in the carrier field. And once transplace comes back to us with the actual carrier, which should carry out the transportation of this order, then that carrier would replace transplace from here. All right. So just let me take you to the same process you did earlier. So to accept the RFQ, you need to go into the NWBC menu, Freight Order Management, Overview Tendering, and let me just click on Open RFQs since ours has not been accepted yet, so it will be still in open status, as you could see from the Freight Order Subcontracting tab too. So let me just verify what was our order number. So it's 614. So I'll just RFQ highlight the RFQ 614 and just accept it for now. It will ask us if you want to do that. I would say yes. Okay, and you can see it has been accepted successfully, so you're good right now. And you can just refresh it and you can see the accepted status come up over here. So as I said earlier, we have a batch job running which would award it automatically automatically once it has been accepted. So it will take, so the batch job takes place every 5 minutes, so let's give it some time and then we'll continue from there. So here we can see for the freight order which we saw earlier that transplace has been awarded RFQ and the transplace coming up in the carrier field. And once the once transplace comes back with us to us with the actual carrier, that would replace transplace from here. And let me now try to create deliveries for this shipment or for this freight order from the transportation cockpit. So we'll just close the screen and here we'll just refresh once. And now let me just select the freight order and the corresponding freight units. Alright, perfect. And now what we'll do is we'll try to create delivery proposal, and you can see in the screen the freight unit and the corresponding freight order comes in. We send the delivery proposal to ERP. The delivery proposals have been sent. We'll come back and let me go inside the freight order. Here you can see the delivery and the DTR was created for the document, and that looks good. So our next step would be to create the shipment. And for this document, you're not able to see deliveries because we have got a delivery block. That is the reason, I mean, that comes from ECC, as I said earlier. So we don't see that, so that's fine. But we can see the delivery is being created for the dock, for the freight unit for which there are no blocks. So we are going correct. The next step would be again to create shipment. So let me go ahead and do that. In follow up, you go so as we can see, we are fit to go and create the ERP shipment. So we click on create update ERP shipment, we click on OK. Alright, so there's some little error because of the timestamps, but other than that, there should be no more issues. We are good from that point of view. Thank you. Now let us try again, and here just to show the shipment. So here we go up to follow up. Then before that we edit it. Go to the follow up, create update ERP shipment, click on OK, and you can see the shipment being created for one of our other orders, which I created right now. So the shipment works here, and there shouldn't be any issue as such. So we can see the shipment being created and the corresponding delivery and DTR documents. To verify the shipment, you just need to go to VT03N and you'll find the corresponding shipment number. So I went to the transaction VT0N, VT03N, sorry, which is shows us the shipment, display shipment, and here you can see the planning has been completed along with the corresponding timestamps, which comes from the freight order, and it looks good at this point. Thank you.